In this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you my blog editing process and how I get posts published, how I add product links to the articles to drive sales, how we do featured images, categories, and other link insertions. So what I've done today is I've just published this article live to one of my niche websites. So it's October 6th. Today is the date, October 6th. So this is one I just did this morning at 9 o'clock. So the first thing I'm going to do is log into my WordPress dashboard. We're going to go to Posts tab here when we have a WordPress website. We're going to click on Add New, or we can update an existing post by going to All Posts. Once we're on the post page, this is where we can see all of our other posts. If you want to go back and make edits to your posts to update the formats of them, if maybe you go on the first time and you just write the article and you come back later to do all your edits. So what I did was an add new post. It brought me to the blank classic WordPress post page. I don't use the Gutenberg editor. I still use the old classic WordPress editor. Go ahead, throw down all my thoughts and words here onto the screen, just typing out my article. When I get done typing my article, the first thing I'm going to do is start from the top with the title. So I'm going to think up a keyword coded title that's going to be attractive for SEO for Google. So I've done several articles in the past about indoor golf drills. So this time I tried to use some unique keywords I haven't used in the past. So I thought of golf practice ideas at home, since these are new keywords I've not previously targeted. So I wrote that title out, and I may improve upon it, but I want to make sure golf practice ideas at home is the first set of keywords that starts off the title, and then I can add some additional keywords at the tail end of the title. Then we want to make sure our permalink has some keywords in it. So this automatically pulls these words and sticks them in here. Now, if I wanted to just edit this to say golf practice ideas, I could do that. But I specifically am targeting people who want to look for golf practice tips when they're at home to do indoors. So I want to leave the words at home in my URL. So once I've started with the title and got the URL correct, then I normally come down here along the right-hand column and you'll see these different drop-down category boxes. So I find the one that says categories. I've got all these different golf categories I've set up by clicking the Add New Category button. So this one, for example, has to do with indoor golf. So I click on the category indoor golf. That categorizes it so that people can find more content like this if they're searching by topics on my website. Then we go down to the featured image. This is where I upload the image for the article that's going to be like the main cover photo on my blog page. So to create these featured images, I use a handy tool called Canva. So if you just go to canva.com, you can create a free account, and then you can choose from all kinds of different design templates. So this is just a basic rectangle template to use for the featured image. If we want to know the exact size, I can click File here, and I can see it's an 800 pixel by 500 pixel. So kind of a small resolution. If I were to redo this template, I would probably up the resolution to something like 2400 pixels by 1500 pixels. So I would just multiply everything by 3 here to get a little bit higher resolution, but this works okay for my blog. So what we do is we create this template. You can use all these different elements they have, from shapes to different things you can search for, to using text, different fonts. So I just made a basic image background with a shadow overlaid on top of it, and then a white border around, and then I threw some text on here. So when I'm done creating my image, I want to keyword the image. So I went up here and gave the image a name, Indoor Golf Practice Ideas. So again, targeting some keywords related to my article. Google's going to index this image into Google Images, so people might find my article through Google Images, searching different keywords related to golf. When I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead and hit the File button, and then we're going to go ahead and hit Download, and it's going to ask us which file type. So I use a PNG image, and then we click Download Now, and it downloads it to our computer. And then we can come in here to the media library for the featured image and click Upload, and we can find that file on our computer. All right, so now that I've added a title, I've checked the permalink for the article URL, we've added category for the article and a featured image. That is all the basic back-end things you need to do to get your article ready for publishing. So the last thing I'll do is go through my actual article again and make any updates. So I'll go ahead and choose what my headings are going to say, making sure I have different keywords in my heading. So this is a heading 1 tag. We can see the heading 1 tag here. And then heading 2s and 3s and 4s are kind of like subtopics within the main general heading. So the general heading, golf practice ideas at home. And then as we scroll down here, I start with an H2 heading, putting drills to focus on swing path. So this kind of is like its own chapter about putting. And within that chapter on putting, we have heading 3s for each individual putting drill. And then we go back up to a heading 2 when we start a new chapter. So when we get done talking about putting, we start talking about chipping. So this goes back to an H2 heading. And then we've got some H2 headings for the golf swing. So that's how I go back and make sure I've got the proper heading system set up for the article, H1, H2, and H3s. That's what Google's going to look at when they're analyzing your blog article for SEO. I also want to make sure I have some keywords spread out throughout the text itself, and then making sure that we're linking to some relevant and helpful content as well to keep people on our website. So I'll go back and link to a product, the golf practice plan, which takes them to my e-commerce store. And then I also gave them 3 different articles on my blog that they can click to, so it keeps them interested in more content on my website and gives me a higher chance in those articles to send them to product links. So the goal here is to get them reading content, build trust, see that you are knowledgeable, that you know what you're talking about. And after they've been on your blog for a little while, they'll have some confidence maybe to click through to one of your product pages and buy one of your products. So as you can see here, just in the month of June alone this year, we did over $6,000 in sales on my e-commerce website. So making a blog is crucial to an e-commerce business. That's where you can get a lot of traffic from Google, and that traffic can then be automatically pushed to your e-commerce store by linking out to different pages in your e-commerce store. So it starts with having that blog to build trust and then pushing them to product pages once they've built some authority and they trust that you are knowledgeable and that your products are going to have good quality content in your products as well. The last thing what you can do here is you can add some additional kind of product placement at the end. So when I'm in the classic editor, we don't see it here. So what I'm going to do is go back here to my post page, and we're going to click on the Gutenberg editor. So I used to manually copy paste the same product, pushing links at the bottom of every article. That gets tedious, especially if I want to change that bottom section at any point in time. I have to go back and manually do it in every single article. But with the new Gutenberg editor, you can actually create a block, and you can update that block, and it will update in every single article that has that block installed within the article. So for example, I built this block here that has golf practice plans with different product links to my e-commerce store. When they click any of these links, it takes them off my website to my actual e-commerce store where they can purchase. Now, in order to not have to re-copy paste this every single time I do an article, I just come in here and I find the little plus icon, and then I use the reusable tab here, and I've already saved this as a template or as a block, so I can just find it right here, my footer, program options, or just my programs by themselves without all this additional images and links. So I have 2 different ones I've set up here I can choose from. I'll just click on one of them and it'll insert that block here into my article, and then I can click update to save my changes. So now anytime I would ever come back and update this particular block, for example, maybe I wanted to rotate out some products and put some new products in, I could just change out these links and it'll update on every single blog post on my website that has this automated box at the bottom of the post. So I don't have to worry about going in and out of every single post individually, because that would take a ton of time to have to click and edit and copy paste everything for 500-600 different articles that I have here. I have 615 published articles. So it's super handy to have Gutenberg Editor setting up these reusable blocks is what they're called, so that you don't have to go in and manually change things. All right, so when I'm done adding in my final product links at the bottom in case they read through my article and they find those products down there, then what I'm going to do is use the Yoast Seo plugin here. So this is a plugin you can install by going to plugins, add new, and just search Yoast Seo, download, install it to your website, turn it on so it's activated. Once it's active, it'll add this little widget into the blog post editor. So when you get done writing your article, you can find this little widget. You can find a focus key phrase. So we're going to type in golf practice, for example, and that's going to go ahead and rate my article for these specific keywords. Now, if I wanted to get more specific, I could say golf practice at home, or I could say golf practice ideas, depending on what keyword I'm targeting. But for example, golf practice, we come down here, we can see how our website article is going to look out on Google itself. So when people are searching the Google search results, this is going to be the title that they're going to see, the meta description, and the featured image if we have one, as well as the URL link. So this gives you a preview of how it'll look on mobile. We can also check it out on desktop as well. So you want to go ahead and give a custom meta description here in the meta box. That's going to update the text here. Right now it just says, please provide a meta description. Now Google by default will pull the first couple sentences of your article. So don't worry about it saying, please provide a meta description. This won't actually show up on Google. It'll show the first paragraph or so of your article. But if you want to give it a custom description, here's where you could do so. If you need to change the URL, this is another place you can change the URL, the slug that comes after my domain name, golfpracticeguides.com. And if we need to update the title, it automatically pulls the title from up above here where we typed it in on the WordPress blog editor at the very top here. So all we got to do is go down here and we can get rid of some of these specific words by just deleting them out and typing in our own custom title. Once that's done, we scroll down here to the little green smiley face drop down arrow and we can see all the different things that Yoast SEO has analyzed our article for. So they're going to look to make sure we have outbound links, which we've linked out to our store, e-commerce, product pages. We want to have an image key phrase. So when we uploaded our image, we gave it a key phrase as the alt text. So they check for that. They also check to make sure we even have an image, which in this case, we uploaded a featured image. We could also upload one direct into the article blog editor itself. Internal links, we linked out to some different blog articles. We also did a key phrase in the introduction. So in the very first paragraph, we made sure we used the term golf practice. That was our key phrase that they're analyzing us on. We also used golf practice as our key phrase in our SEO title. We have the correct key phrase length. We didn't go too long or too short. We also had the correct density. They found our key phrase golf practice 12 times throughout the article, so that's a good number of times to have it. They're saying if you have it too many times, it could be spammy. If you don't have it enough, Google might not be able to tell what your article is about, and so that key phrase might not get noticed by Google. So having a decent key phrase density is kind of important. Then we had the previously used key phrase rating. So have I used this key phrase before? It says you've not used it before, so that's very good. Then they want to make sure we have it in our URL slug, which we used that same phrase in the URL above. We have a good text length of our article. We used over 1,463 words. I try to aim to go at least over 1,000 words when I'm writing a blog article. And then we also have good SEO title width. All right, so that's all I do to get a blog article ready. There's writing the article itself, then going back in and cleaning up with some of these editing techniques of making sure our title's optimized for length of title and the key phrase in the title, making sure our URL is optimized, making sure we give a category and a featured image and use some key phrase words about golf in my images that I'm uploading. Then go back and make sure I've got the right headings, H1, H2, H3s, make sure there's key phrases in each of those headings that we can rank on Google potentially for, and then make sure I'm internally linking to additional content on my website and outbound linking to my product pages, and then using the Gutenberg Editor to add a reusable block at the bottom that promotes my products at the end of my article. Then checking for SEO by using the Yoast SEO plugin. So when we've done all of the final checklist editing tasks, then I can come here to this little publish box and I can choose to publish now, or we can schedule by just scheduling out to a certain date and it'll schedule it so you can have it automatically publish at a certain date and time if you're not quite ready to publish it today. So that's it for this video. That is my blog editing rundown process of everything I do, from writing an article to going back and touching it up to make sure it's optimized to show up in Google so that I can get traffic to my article from Google, and then that traffic builds authority, builds trust with me, and clicks through to my links where they buy my products.